Early retirement sounds great. It is a powerful idea. The thought of leaving the mandatory 9-to-5 grind behind feels like winning the ultimate prize. But not all early retirements are created equal. Imagine two people who both stop working at age 45. One spends their days hiking local trails, tending a garden, and enjoying simple meals at home. The other travels the world in business class, dines at fine restaurants, and lives in a spacious home with a pool. Both have achieved retirement, yet their daily lives are worlds apart. This is the core difference between the two most popular paths in the financial independence, retire early movement. These two distinct philosophies are known as lean FIRE and fat FIRE. They both aim for the same glorious destination, freedom from mandatory work. One path prioritizes speed, demanding extreme frugality to escape the workforce as quickly as humanly possible. The other path prioritizes comfort, requiring a much longer working career to fund a more luxurious and worry-free retirement. This essay will break down both approaches with brutal honesty. We will explore the numbers, the lifestyles, the pros, and the cons of each. The concept of FIRE itself is simple. It stands for financial independence, retire early. At its heart, it means you have accumulated enough income-producing assets like stocks or real estate that you no longer need to trade your time for a paycheck to cover your living expenses. The annual income from your investments is enough to sustain you indefinitely. The critical question that splits the community into different camps is this: how much is enough? The answer to that question will determine whether you are sprinting down the lean path or taking a long, scenic drive down the fat one. Understanding this choice is not just an academic exercise. It is a deeply personal decision that will shape decades of your life. It affects where you live, what you do for fun, how you handle unexpected emergencies, and how many more years you will spend at a desk. By examining lean FIRE and fat FIRE side by side, we can cut through the noise and the hype. The goal is to provide a clear, balanced view that helps you understand which version of financial freedom truly aligns with your personal values, your tolerance for risk, and the life you genuinely want to live. Okay, let's move on. So, what exactly is lean FIRE? In the simplest terms, lean FIRE is the minimalist approach to financial independence. It is about achieving freedom on a shoestring budget. This path is defined by a commitment to extremely low spending. During the saving phase, throughout retirement, slash your expenses to the bare minimum, allowing you to save an incredibly high percentage of your income. Aggressive saving rate dramatically shortens the time it takes to build a nest egg large enough to support your lean lifestyle. Intentional simplicity, focusing on needs rather than wants. The numbers behind lean FIRE are what make it distinct. A typical lean FIRE budget, $25,000 to $40,000 per year. For an individual or a couple. Portfolio needed, roughly $625,000 to $1 million, assuming a 4% safe withdrawal rate. A lifestyle of deliberate frugality. Lean FIRE followers are masters of optimization. They often own their homes outright, drive older, paid-off cars, cook nearly all their meals at home. Entertainment, libraries, parks, free community events. Not expensive concerts or frequent nights out. Requires discipline that can seem extreme to outsiders. Common to save over 50%, sometimes as much as 70%, of their after-tax income. Every spending decision is scrutinized. Do I really need that new smartphone? Can my current one last another 2 years? Can I bike to work instead of driving to save on gas and maintenance? This relentless focus on cost-cutting powers the journey. Not about deprivation, about buying back your time from an employer year by year until you've bought all of it back for good. Ultimate goal, not to be poor, but to be free. It is a trade-off. You trade material possessions and conventional luxuries for the ultimate luxury, control over your own time. Freedom more valuable than a new car. Freedom more valuable than a fancy dinner. Freedom more valuable than a designer wardrobe. Willing to live on less to escape the rat race a decade or more before peers. This philosophy redefines wealth, not by how much you spend, but by how little you need to spend to be happy and independent. The most significant and undeniable advantage of Lean Fire is speed. Because the target nest egg is relatively small, you can reach the finish line astonishingly fast. An individual with a modest income who can manage to save a huge portion of it can realistically retire in their 30s or early 40s. This is the siren song of Lean Fire, the promise of reclaiming the best decades of your life. Pursue passions, travel, simply just relax. You do not need to be a high-flying executive or a tech millionaire to make it happen. A teacher, a plumber, an administrative assistant. This path also fosters incredible resourcefulness and resilience. When you learn to live happily on a small budget, you become less dependent on a fragile economic system. Cooking, home repair, gardening. This self-sufficiency can be deeply empowering. A simple life often leads to a lower environmental footprint, consuming less, wasting less. Nature, relationships, creativity. The psychological benefit of knowing you engineered your own escape can provide a profound sense of accomplishment and security. However, the downsides are just as stark, and they must be faced with honesty. The most glaring risk of Lean Fire is the razor-thin margin for error, a serious health issue, a major home repair like a new roof, a prolonged stock market downturn. There is very little buffer for life's inevitable curveballs. This can create a persistent, low-level anxiety that undermines the very freedom you worked so hard to achieve. Moreover, the extreme frugality required can lead to social isolation and a feeling of deprivation. It can be difficult to maintain friendships when you are constantly turning down invitations to restaurants, vacations, other social events that do not fit your Spartan budget. For some, the lifestyle can start to feel restrictive and punishing over time. What felt like a noble sacrifice in your 20s might feel like a self-imposed prison in your 40s. On the opposite end of the spectrum lies Fat Fire. If Lean Fire is a sprint fueled by frugality, Fat Fire is a marathon powered by high earnings and patient investing. This approach is for those who want to retire early without sacrificing a comfortable lifestyle or even a luxurious lifestyle. The central idea is to accumulate a much larger nest egg, one that can generate enough income to support a generous annual budget. This allows for a retirement filled with the finer things in life: extensive travel, nice homes, new cars, freedom to spend without constantly pinching pennies. The numbers for Fat Fire are substantially larger. A typical Fat Fire annual budget starts at around $100,000. Many aim for $150,000 or more per year. Using the same 4% withdrawal rate, this requires an investment portfolio of at least $2,500,000 to $4 million, and often much more. This level of wealth looks like a high-income professional life, but without the need to work. It covers not just the necessities, luxuries, hobbies, generous gifts, significant cushions for emergencies. Reaching a Fat Fire goal almost always requires a high income. Saving a large percentage of your income is still crucial, but building a multi-million-dollar portfolio on a modest salary is difficult. People on this path are often high-earning professionals like doctors, lawyers, software engineers, successful business owners. The most compelling advantage of Fat Fire is the incredible comfort and security it provides, With a large annual budget, you are well insulated from financial shocks. An unexpected medical bill, a volatile stock market is a concern, not a catastrophe. This peace of mind is arguably the greatest luxury of all. It allows for a truly relaxed retirement, free from the nagging worry that a single stroke of bad luck could upend your entire plan. You have the resources to handle almost anything life throws at you, which can dramatically improve your quality of life and mental well-being. Furthermore, Fat Fire allows you to maintain or even upgrade your lifestyle in retirement. You do not have to give up the things you enjoy. Travel extensively, dine at your favorite restaurants, pursue expensive hobbies, live in a desirable location. This makes the transition from working life to retirement much smoother and more appealing for many people. It also provides the flexibility to be generous with family and friends and to support causes you care about. This ability to spend freely on experiences and relationships is a powerful motivator for those who choose this longer path. To make these concepts crystal clear, let us consider the stories of two fictional individuals, Anna Ben. Both start their careers at age 28 with the same goal: to retire early. However, they choose very different paths to get there. Their stories illustrate the real-world trade-offs between lean fire and fat fire. Anna decides she values her time above all else. She chooses the lean fire path. She earns $60,000 per year as a graphic designer. She immediately adopts a frugal lifestyle, a decision that dictates her every financial move. Anna lives in a small, low-cost-of-living city. She buys a modest condo. She works diligently to pay off the mortgage as quickly as possible. She becomes an expert at meal prepping, saving a fortune on food costs. She cancels her expensive gym membership. She runs in the park instead. She cancels cable for cheaper streaming services. By saving 60% of her income, she puts away $36,000 each year. After just 12 years of this disciplined approach, at age 40, Anna has investments that generate $35,000 a year. She quits her job, completely free. Her life is simple, but it is hers. Ben, on the other hand, wants to retire without compromising his comfortable lifestyle. He chooses the fat fire path. As a software engineer, he earns $150,000 per year. While he also saves aggressively, his target is much larger. He saves 40% of his income, $60,000 per year, while still living a very comfortable life. He lives in a nice house in a desirable suburb. He takes 2 international vacations each year with his family. He drives a newer car. He dines out regularly. His lifestyle is enjoyable, but it requires a much larger nest egg to sustain. Ben continues to work and invest for 25 years. By the time he is 53, he has built a portfolio that can safely generate $150,000 per year. The lean fire path is not for everyone, but for a certain type of person, it is the perfect fit. You should seriously consider lean fire if you place an extremely high value on your personal time and freedom above material possessions. If the thought of having complete control over your days, years before your peers, is more exciting than a luxury car or a big house, this could be your path. It is for people who genuinely dislike their jobs or the structure of a corporate environment and feel a deep, urgent need to escape. Their primary motivation is freedom, and they're willing to make significant sacrifices to get it sooner. This path fits natural minimalists who find joy in simple living, cooking at home versus dining out, hiking in a national park versus an all-inclusive resort, borrowing books from the library versus buying them new. The lean fire lifestyle may not even feel like a sacrifice. It might feel like a more intentional version of how you already prefer to live. People with strong self-discipline and creative problem-solving thrive here. They can turn frugality into a fun, rewarding game of optimization. Lean fire is also more accessible for moderate incomes. You don't need a 6-figure salary. You need an ironclad commitment to a high savings rate. This makes it a more democratic form of financial independence. It's a fit for those with a high tolerance for risk and uncertainty. Be comfortable with a smaller financial buffer and be prepared to be flexible if things go wrong. For example, take a small part-time job or adjust spending during a market downturn. Finally, ideal for people whose life goals aren't tied to high spending. Write a novel, spend more time with your kids, volunteer for a cause you love, travel the world on a shoestring budget. Backpacking. Lean fire provides the time to do so. The fat fire journey, with its longer timeline and greater financial demands, appeals to a different set of values and circumstances. You should consider this path if your primary goal is to retire with a high degree of comfort, security, flexibility. If the idea of budgeting tightly in retirement or worrying about unexpected expenses causes you significant anxiety, the large cushion provided by a fat fire portfolio will be incredibly appealing. This path is for those who want to eliminate money as a source of stress entirely. They want to ensure they can afford a comfortable life, top-tier healthcare assistance as they age. This approach is a natural fit for high-income earners who enjoy their careers or find them tolerable and rewarding. If you are a doctor, successful entrepreneur, senior executive, you have the income engine necessary to build a massive nest egg without extreme deprivation. For these individuals, working an extra decade to lock in a luxurious, worry-free retirement can feel like a reasonable trade-off. They are willing to trade more time in exchange for a retirement with zero financial compromises. Fat fire is also the more practical choice for people with families. Supporting kids through college, wedding expenses, a down payment on a house, generous inheritance are goals that align well with Fat Fire. It's for those who see wealth as security and opportunity for the next generation. The larger budget allows a lifestyle that accommodates multiple people's needs and wants. Ultimately, Fat Fire is for the person who values security and abundance over speed. In the debate between Lean Fire and Fat Fire, there is no universal winner. One path offers the incredible prize of early freedom, but demands a life of disciplined frugality and accepts higher risk. The other path promises abundance and security in retirement, but requires many more years of work. Lean Fire gets you out of the race fast, but you have to be content with a simple life. Fat Fire lets you live large in retirement, but it costs you more of your precious time on Earth. Neither path is inherently superior. They answer the deeply personal question of what you value most. The most critical mistake is choosing a plan at odds with your personality. If you love travel, fine dining, or the comfort of a spacious home, forcing yourself onto Lean Fire is a recipe for misery. You will likely abandon the plan from sheer frustration. Conversely, if you despise your job and dream of quiet days reading or gardening, grinding for an extra 15 years for Fat Fire can cause burnout and regret. The worst financial plan is the one you cannot stick with. Before you commit, be brutally honest with yourself. What does your ideal life actually look like? What trade-offs are you truly willing to make? Test your assumptions. Try living on your projected lean budget for a few months. Talk openly with your partner and family. This decision will affect them profoundly. Your choice isn't set in stone. You can adjust as life changes. You could aim for something in the middle. Barista Fire, Coast Fire, which blends the extremes. The goal isn't to follow a rigid script,